So Cuba, Greasy Head Adams is just trying to avert every corner that he can for the garbage that he is doing and want to explain it off in more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? So we know for well he is not the pinnacle of black manhood. What he is the pinnacle of straight up con artist, con bullshitical garbage. Period. Let's just be frank. He's full of shit. You know what I'm saying? He's full of shit. And we just got to face it. He is full of straight doo-doo. Him and a lot of other leaders. Even when he was looking at, a while ago when the Moors was calling themselves jumping up on the scene and, leading down the lane and preaching, even with the Israelite brothers and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Many of you are presenting things to our people that leads nowhere because that's your whole goal in honor and working with the beast to me. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not leading them anywhere. You're leading them into your religious society or whatever you has created. You know what I'm saying? But the people don't need that. They don't need that. They never did. You know what I'm saying? But everybody looks for some kind of understanding of goodness that can bring about, equal rights, justice, and, religious freedom. And many other things, you know what I'm saying, economically. But you have a lot of people that their mission is not that. Their mission is to keep them in power. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But we see here where we have Be Very Afraid. This is coming in by the saloon with the little red S, you know what I'm saying? The key red S and the red dot there. You know what I'm saying? This is coming in by Chauncey de Vegas. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a lot of black names, do we? But we see here where he's saying, be very afraid. The Agenda 47 is no joke. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump is now, describing himself as some type of new avatar for the sprint, for the sprint, the spirit. Now, I guess he's saying Donald Trump is a new. I guess he's describing himself as some kind of avatar for the spirit of 76 founding fathers for the 21st century, or the 21st century, a defender of liberty, freedom against tyranny. Yes, he is. It doesn't matter how crooked you think he may be, but he's leading the way with that, of course. So that we will give him, because the Demon Democrats have never led the way on that. You know what I'm saying? What they have done has conned people into believing that they gave us equal rights and they freed us and all of this and that and the third. No, they did not. All they ever did was the criminal shit of enslaving people, beating down on African people, creating the Ku Klux Klan, involving themselves into the Civil War, a fight against capitalism, and all this whole Civil War thing, because we know it's a fight over power. You know what I'm saying? And land. You know what I'm saying? And many other things. But, you know what I'm saying? That's all they did. And then when they lost that, they found another way to get back into the swing of things and rule shit and do shit by definitely making sure that none of the black people all across, or even in the rural South, would vote Republican or Popular Party or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So they made sure that when you started campaigning down there talking about some Republican and liberation and all this different stuff, next thing you know, Forrest Nathan Bradford terrorist group will roll up on your damn lawn dressing hoods with their coward ass and talk about, you gotta stop running your mouth and this and that and the third, to make sure that they're demon democratical individuals get the popularity in order to get into government. But even when we jump past a lot of that bullshit and we come to LBJ and the different presidents, all of them, you know what I'm saying, in more ways than one, did not do great things for even the liberation or the freedom and stop the discrimination and the bullshit on African people, in this country. You know what I'm saying? all LBJ and the rest of them did was constantly con black people into believing that they did this and they did that. You know what I'm saying? When their hands were forced because they're in government and they want to keep in the limelight. So of course when Martin Luther King and different candidates would come in and he would do this and do that, even with John F. Kennedy, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what's the real motive that he even allowed him to come there and have a discussion and so forth and so on. You know what I'm saying? But we see the implications of what end up in the end factor, you see. So we're going to leave it for you to decide. You know what I'm saying? But we see here again, he's saying freedom and against tyranny. You know what I'm saying? You know, to that point, in fundraising, emails, and in other communication, Trump is proclaiming that he is waging a great battle against the so-called deep state and creepy-ass Joe Biden, demon Democrats, paternal order, yada, 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 all the way to the top, you know what I mean? And even over there in Egypt, you know what I'm saying, occupying that space that should not be there under their control at all, and their corrupt administrations. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be honest. Trump is 100% right. And if he continues down that road, imagine what his legacy is going to be if he can prove that in all ways. This is why they are continuing to try to destroy this man, because they don't want nobody to ever have that type of legacy based on the president, because none of the even Democrats to me really ever did it. You talking about Ronald Reagan, and Ronald Reagan put drugs in our neighborhood and then tried to weasel out of it, you know what I'm saying, and say he's the bad brother, he had nothing to do, it was Oliver North, you know, and all types of other crooked ass shit. So don't tell me no greatness about no Ronald Reagan, you know what I'm saying, or LBJ, or many of your team and democratical presidents. You know what I'm saying? You know, much less those in the Republican Party as well. You know what I'm saying? Because if you was going to do better and call yourself a Republican, the country would have been in better condition a long time ago, and you would have had more popularity of winning office over and over, and many of the problems of black people would have been completely solved, especially us having to pay high rent along with everybody else. I think that is discrimination in itself, because you brought us over here, you did this bullshit to us, and not only that, but you are using our ancestors' homeland and our homeland as well of inheritance, raiding, robbing, stealing, murder, killing, pedophilia, nastiness, all types of religious garbage, shit, boo-boo, dada, and all kinds of other garbage old shit going on there in Africa. Invasion, constantly occupying, constantly robbing the tombs of our great African ancestors, and so forth and so on, and doing bullshit. So don't give me that shit. You go in itself. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, Negroes, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to call them that like Malcolm did. I see why he did now. Sit over here, and probably even in Africa, and sit up here and constantly just sit there and let these people run across their nutcase. And then when they end up in conflict and all type of shit and gotta pull out the gun and all, they're shooting up the gun and shit, you showing us guns, you ain't showing us the revolution of all African people standing as one. Because even brother Bob Todd, you know, brother Bob said it, you know what I'm saying? Africa unite, for your children wants to come home. But you consistently will not do it, because you are mixed-minded of some religious ideology over the years, talking about converting to Islam when you're an African, converting to Christianity when you're an African. You know what I'm saying? So in your mind, you know what I'm saying, so in their mind, black people that is Arab, or black people that is claiming Arabical and Muslimic, must see their creator as a Muslimic individual or a Islamic person. When you look at them that chose Christianity, you know what I'm saying, they're black but their God is white. Something is deadly wrong with their mind frame. And this is why they were able to do this shit. And over the years and years of generation of teaching this shit to children and so on and so on and so on, you see where you could go into probably Nigeria and different countries and look up on the walls, and instead of their creator or their image of a creator or some kind of shit that they follow is black, is white. So we know their mind is fucked up. This is why they was able to do what they're doing in Africa right now. There should be no fuss in Africa as to the wealth and the distribution of wealth to African people. Anytime the beast goes in to Egypt and try to demise our mind away from Egypt by saying they were not black, they were brown, and they were not black, and even if they're black, they're white. We know for well that tells you right there. You know what I'm saying? They want to go into Africa and raid off these golden statues and a golden mask that worth more than money could even put on the table for, and is worth more than that, and can, if it was put into wealth, could feed the world 7 times over 100 times. You think this is why they rushed into Africa and tried to control and take over the whole of Africa from the African people, and the only thing they did is probably send Mussolini down there to murder 30,000 Africans a week. You know what I'm saying? They send, what's the name? Napoleon down there. He probably murdered off hundreds of Africans and bullshit. They send all type of tyrants. You see what I'm saying? Because this was to underdevelop the minds of the African people so they could read it out. Because if we was to really look at all the stuff that they have been taking out and still taking out of Africa today, like I said, could feed every man, woman, and child, it doesn't matter what color or race, at least 7 to 8 times over in this world, each individual on this planet. You see? So they don't want us to do that. They didn't want African people to do that for the world. You know what I'm saying? Just as we made language and shared language with our neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Many of our language was created in Africa, but it was shared with neighbors and people that came into Africa. Many times we shared and developed these people. We didn't just go in there, invade them, kill them, murder them, rape, pedophilia, screw the little boys in the bum. You know what I'm saying? And dumb shit. You see? Nastiness. We went in there and we developed. Even if we conquered, we still didn't do that to them. We advanced them. Now, it didn't take Ivan Van Sertima and many other people to tell me that, because I've been studying a long time. And I know for well a lot of the influence of the buildings in Europe is African, Egyptian mythology buildings and so forth. And Africa has a direct connection to building. Many of those buildings you see in Europe. This is why you can see many of the white people books don't have a white Jesus, it has a black Jesus. You see? Even if it's right or wrong. That goes to show you, why would they be white and have a book with black Jesus in it? And why would black people in America have a Bible with a white Jesus in it? And we see that transformation has taken place even going back in the 1700s. Before that, they had an Arab-looking dude trying to Arabize, you know what I'm saying, the African world. And this is what black people have allowed. You know what I'm saying? To where they could still sit over there and enslave African people. Arab boy. You need to get them out of there and knock their head off. But we know we are a lot of sellouts and a lot of bullshit that took place in Africa that should not have even gotten to that point. Even after the fact of the old garbage that were going on, and you come to this particular time, you know what I'm saying, you should have had that on lock, and all that do not belong there should have been driven out. But you want to lick balls and carry on. Okay. Now we see here in this one coming, we see Charles Barkley, you know what I'm saying, has jumped on the LGBTQ community. Hey, you know what I'm saying, coming in by Stacey Mickless one day ago. you know what I'm saying, on the, I guess the comeback news, you know what I'm saying, with a little symbol over there, you know what I'm saying. But we see Charles Barkley gave a powerful speech supporting LGBTQ community that slammed those who criticized their community. Barkley was speaking at an event in Lake Tahoe, sponsored by Bud Light, and made himself, you know, perfectly clear as his stance on where he stood with critics of the gay community. You know what I'm saying? And so forth on. I want all to drink, and I guess a species of whatever, beer, whatever, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got time with the talk. You know what I'm saying? According to TMZ, wanted to, you know what I'm saying, so on and so on. You know what I'm saying? He added and want to say this: if you're gay, bless you. If you're transgender, bless you. And if you have a problem with that, you know what I'm saying, especially whatever, you know, I guess it's about here, whatever, you know what I'm saying. But Charles Barkley, we don't give a flying fuck, because ain't nobody gonna be following down the road with no fake ass, with no fake ass bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody doing that. Ain't nobody doing that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody doing that. You know, you could go on with whatever you want to go on with and say whatever you want to say, but, you know what I'm saying, nobody never had a problem with it at all. The only problem we had is you pushing it into this world based on it's some kind of ideology of reality. And that's straight up. I mean, what more would Charles Barkley simply be talking about other than the same thing we all said? If you're gay, you're gay. If you want to call yourself a gender and change your body and all this different stuff, to me, you're not gay, that's stupid. But if you're gender, then that's your thing, what you want us to do. You know what I'm saying? But when you start pushing it on kindergarten to 3rd to 6th grade to kindergarten to 12K and all this type of stuff, 12th grade, you know what I'm saying, and teaching this garbage, you know what I'm saying, as it is a reality, then you're changing all the TV programs, so you invaded that, so we know who controlled that piece of shit, you know what I'm saying, same as we see with YouTube and many other things, you know what I'm saying, and Facebook and so on and so on. You in the schools doing storytelling, while a man is dressed like a woman, so you confusing the child mentality and saying that you're not. And you've been doing that a long time and getting paid up to $40,000 or more to go into schools and do that. So they're promoting this because we know for where the leadership probably has that same fucking Luciferian, chaotic mind frame, blood sucking underneath. They're swarming on top of each other like Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I'm saying? So get out of my face. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, if you want to support that, you support that. Ain't nobody mad at you. You know what I'm saying? But don't expect the rest of us to support it in the way that you support it, other than the way that it's supposed to be. We accept the fact that that's what you are, and then you go about your business and your life. You know what I'm saying? And nobody should be hurting, discriminating, beating down, or anything. And you should not be deceiving, pushing, or con gaming in the same order. You know what I'm saying? But we see Colorado responds to a pressure to block Trump from the 2024 run. Why would you pressure Colorado or anybody to pressure them to do this bullshit? I don't know. You should be doing that for creepy Joe Biden, if you ask me. And the bullshit that he already pulled our country into, talking about the United States supports Ukraine. No, we don't. No, we don't. I don't support that shit. I don't support that shit. You probably taking my little taxpayer dollars and paying it, but I don't support that shit. I don't give a fuck what you do. I can't stop. But I don't tell me to support something that is unjustly wrong and definitely trumped up by a demon, blood-clad group of people whoever he's following and carrying on with. You know what I'm saying? To where you putting us in a position where you pushing our nuclear nations to its brink. Come on, get the fuck out of here. You garbage, nigga. You garbage. and then sitting up there laughing and grinning and skinning and all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? But we see, you know what I'm saying, they trying to even do this bullshit. What is you trying to stop? What are you scared of? This is what people should be asking. They keep trying to chop up all kind of crooked garbage to say about this man, but they're never proving anything that is of course done him a 34 indictment. Them 34 indictments is bullshit. It's bullshit. Unless you're not saying everything. You know what I'm saying? But we see it's bullshit though. And it's straight bullshit in more ways than one. You know what I mean? And nobody got time to sit there consistently with you. The people must make a decision of somebody who's going to represent you in the United States government, period, that is going to be for the people, and the people will be able to, get some clarity, respect, and economical status. You know what I'm saying? When we look at it, we don't see that amongst many of these people. You know what I mean? We don't see that. We don't see that at all. All we see is a whole lot of garbage in itself. You know what I'm saying? In itself. We see a whole lot of garbage in it, and have been going on for quite some time, and trying to act like it hasn't. You know what I'm saying? And trying to act like it hasn't. You know? And we're trying to act like it hasn't. You know? So we'll look at a little clip right here. Hold on a second. Nobody want to hear that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But it has been running for a long time. Now, I thought they had a report on that, but they ain't really got nothing except some bullshit. Really. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when we look at it, we see Colorado election officials will not, they would not comment to keeping Donald J. Trump, Trumpy baby, see, as an option on its 2024 ballot, and pressure from several ethnic groups. Pressure from several ethnic groups. Keyword. What ethnic groups are those needs to be spoken about. You know what I'm saying? Several ethnic groups. You know what I'm saying? Groups claiming that the president of the United States violated the 14th. No, he did not. You put this into perspective to bring it all to that, so you can use the 14th Amendment in order to stop him. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, and so he violated the 14th Amendment in his actions surrounding the January 6th siege. He did not siege any capital, and if he did, I don't think he did, but if he was to, he need to, because look at the creepy motherfuckers that we got running up in there. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, he did not. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just saying it, but you're not proving it, and you're bringing in all kinds of shitty ass witnesses that are demon democratical. You know what I'm saying? Coached in order to say this. But how can you prove that he told them to seize the White House? He did not tell them to seize the Capitol. You know what I'm saying? He did not. He said, if you're going to save your country, you got to do something about it. And he asked for votes that, that he was looking for, that he thought that the state was backing him up when they wasn't. You know what I'm saying? They was busy licking demon democratical balls and sucking, you know what I'm saying, he shot in the butt. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, they was not paying attention to what he was doing in order to save you from what we see is going on and as now going on as a whole. But this is how people do. You know what I'm saying? They'll follow anything, even if many people have a demon democratical ideology of even Christianity, religion, all types of shit mixed in their ideology. And we see this, you know what I'm saying? But we see here where they're trying to say that he sees. No, he did not. You just trying to use that as your swinging point. And the ethnic groups that are probably doing this, probably niggas all up in there. How much you want there? You know what I'm saying? On Thursday, Colorado Secretary of State, you know what I'm saying, Jenna Gershworld or whatever office declined to say whether the state top election officials would grant ballot access to Trump when questioned by reporters in Colorado. You know what I'm saying? After a pair of advocacy, you know what I'm saying, organization would wrote letters to 9 secretaries of state invoking Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. You see what I'm saying? You're trying to invoke these amendments on him, but you're not invoking them on Creepy Joe Biden and his family based on the garbage in which they are doing. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be honest. You're not. The only thing that you're invoking on is Trump, and Trump is the big fear of it all. So we know for well that you're full of dude. You know what I'm saying? We know for well you're full of dude. And then you want everybody else to follow down that stupid road. Everybody's not going to follow down that stupid road because everybody has a decision to make based on any of this nonsense that's going on. There has to be a more understanding of people mentality based on the truth and the right that should be governing your country as a whole. You know what I'm saying? We don't see that. We don't see that. What we see is a constant, you know what I'm saying, a constant foolishness going on in more ways than one. Constantly. We don't see any acknowledgement of true government in any shape or form. You know what I'm saying? And that goes all the way across the board. But we see that the statute first implemented in the wake of the Civil War states that a person who engaged in insurrection or rebellion after taking an oath of office should be prevented from running. Again, that's bullshit. Because he did not do any insurrection. The only insurrection was done by the Demon Democrats. And they have been insurrecting the United States for many, 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 many years. You know what I'm saying?